red, blood everywhere. The room was a macabre canvas, painted with the crimson life force of those who had dared to cross paths with the malevolent spirits that resided within these walls. The air was thick with the metallic scent of blood, mingling with the palpable fear that seemed to seep from every corner. It was a scene straight out of a nightmare, a testament to the horrors that had unfolded here. Ashley's vision swam, a dizzying kaleidoscope of pain and terror. Her senses were overwhelmed, her mind struggling to make sense of the chaos that surrounded her. The world around her seemed to twist and distort, as if reality itself was being torn apart by the sheer force of the malevolent energy that permeated the room. She could feel the weight of the darkness pressing down on her, suffocating her as she fought to maintain her grip on sanity.
Chucky, my beloved, lay beside me, his presence a twisted comfort in the midst of the madness. We had been through so much together, our bond forged in the fires of our shared malevolence. His stitched flesh, a patchwork of scars and wounds, was a testament to the countless battles we had fought side by side. And now, here we were, on the brink of something truly extraordinary. His stitched flesh ripped open, revealing the dark, twisted essence that lay within. It was a sight both horrifying and mesmerizing, a glimpse into the true nature of the malevolent spirit that inhabited his form. The raw power that radiated from him was almost tangible, a dark energy that seemed to pulse and throb with a life of its own. It was this power that had drawn me to him, that had bound us together in our unholy union. We'd been so close to transferring his soul into Nika's body. The ritual had been meticulously planned, every detail carefully orchestrated to ensure its success. We had poured our dark energies into the ceremony, our malevolent wills united in a single, all-consuming purpose. But just as we were on the verge of achieving our goal, something had gone terribly wrong. But Glenda had stopped us. Her interference had shattered our carefully laid plans, her presence a disruptive force that had thrown everything into chaos. She had always been a wild card, her unpredictable nature a constant source of frustration and danger. And now, in this critical moment, she had once again proven to be our undoing.
Now, their blood mingled on the cold floor, a gruesome reminder of the violence that had transpired. The once pristine surface was now a slick crimson pool, a chilling testament to the brutality of the confrontation. The blood seemed to take on a life of its own, spreading and merging in a macabre dance that mirrored the chaos and destruction that had unfolded, a crimson testament to their shattered dreams. But something was happening. Amidst the carnage and despair, a strange energy began to stir. It was as if the very fabric of reality was shifting, the boundaries between the physical and the supernatural blurring and intertwining. The air crackled with an otherworldly energy, a force that seemed to defy explanation. Ashley felt a pull, a strange energy swirling around her. It was an almost magnetic force, drawing her towards the epicenter of the disturbance. She could feel the power coursing through her, a dark and potent energy that seemed to resonate with her very being. It was a sensation both exhilarating and terrifying, a reminder of the dark forces that had brought her to this point. It was Chucky's power, his essence flowing into her. She could feel the transfer, the dark energy seeping into her form, infusing her with a strength and malevolence that was both intoxicating and overwhelming. It was as if she was being reborn, her very essence reshaped and reforged by the dark power that now coursed through her.
My porcelain skin throbbed, the cracks and imperfections seeming to pulse with a life of their own. It was a strange and unsettling sensation, as if my very form was being reshaped and redefined by the dark energy that now flowed through me. I could feel the power building within me, a dark and potent force that seemed to resonate with my very being, my blue eyes burning with a newfound intensity. They seemed to glow with an inner light, a reflection of the dark power that now resided within me. It was a sensation both exhilarating and terrifying, a reminder of the dark forces that had brought me to this point. I could feel the power building within me, a dark and potent force that seemed to resonate with my very being. I was no longer just a doll, I was something more, something immortal. The transformation was complete, my form reshaped and redefined by the dark power that now flowed through me. I could feel the strength and malevolence coursing through my veins, a dark and potent force that seemed to resonate with my very being. I was no longer bound by the limitations of my physical form, my essence now intertwined with the dark forces that had brought me to this point. I was something more, something immortal.
Jennifer Tilly was not a woman to be trifled with. Her presence alone could send shivers down the spine of anyone who dared to cross her path. With a career spanning decades, She had become an icon in the world of horror, a true scream queen whose legacy was etched in blood and terror. For years she'd been the vessel, the queen to Chucky's twisted king. Together they had carved a path of destruction, leaving a trail of fear and chaos in their wake. Their bond was unbreakable, a sinister partnership that thrived on the screams of their victims. Jennifer had embraced her role with a dark glee, reveling in the power that came with being Chucky's queen. She'd reveled in the power, the chaos they'd unleashed together. Every scream, every drop of blood, every terrified glance had fueled her, making her feel alive in a way nothing else could. The world of horror was her kingdom, and she ruled it with an iron fist, her laughter echoing through the dark corridors of fear. But now news reached her of Chucky's demise. The unthinkable had happened. Her partner in crime, her twisted king, was no more. The news hit her like a dagger to the heart, a cold, sharp pain that left her reeling. How could this be? How could the unkillable Chucky be gone, and worse, of his replacement? A new player had entered the game, a pretender to the throne. The thought of someone else stepping into Chucky's shoes, of someone else trying to take his place, filled her with a burning rage. This was her world, her kingdom, and she would not let anyone take it from her.
A blonde doll, a pale imitation, dares to take my place? The very idea was an insult, a slap in the face. This new doll, with its pale face and eerie smile, was nothing compared to the legacy she and Chucky had built. It was a mockery, a cheap imitation that could never live up to the original. Rage, cold and sharp, coursed through my veins. The anger was a living thing, a beast that clawed at her insides, demanding retribution. She would not stand for this. She would not be cast aside like some forgotten relic. She was Jennifer Tilly, the Scream Queen, and she would remind the world of her power. I will not be cast aside. The words echoed in her mind, a mantra that fueled her determination. She would rise from the ashes of Chucky's demise, stronger and more terrifying than ever. She would reclaim her throne, and woe to anyone who stood in her way. I will have my revenge. The promise was a dark whisper, a vow that she would see through to the end. She would hunt down this pretender, this pale imitation, and show them the true meaning of fear. Her revenge would be swift and merciless, a testament to her enduring power. I will remind them all who the true queen of horror is. The world would tremble once more at the sound of her name. Jennifer Tilly, the Scream Queen, was back, and she was more furious than ever. Her reign of terror was far from over, and she would make sure that everyone knew it. The queen had returned, and her fury would be felt by all.
The air crackled with energy as Jennifer Tilly chanted, her voice echoing through the dimly lit room. The atmosphere was thick with anticipation. Every word she uttered seemed to vibrate with a life of its own. Her voice a guttural rasp, filled with an ancient power that sent shivers down the spine of anyone who heard it. Each syllable was a key, unlocking forces that had lain dormant for centuries. Ancient words, dark and powerful, spilled from her lips, weaving a tapestry of magic that was both beautiful and terrifying. The symbols in the book glowed faintly as if responding to her incantations. Invoking forces beyond human comprehension, she called upon entities that existed in the shadows, beings that thrived in the dark corners of the universe. The room seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. She wouldn't just kill Ashley. No, that was too easy. She wanted to make her suffer, to feel every ounce of pain she had endured. No, that was too easy. She wanted to strip away everything that made Ashley who she was, to leave her a hollow shell of her former self.
I will make her suffer. I will take away her power, her immortality, piece by agonizing piece. She will know what it means to be truly helpless. I will strip away her power, her essence, until there is nothing left but a shadow of her former self. She will beg for mercy, but none will come. Her immortality, piece by agonizing piece. She will feel every moment of her downfall, every second of her torment.
Across the miles, Ashley felt a chill, a sudden drop in temperature that made her shiver uncontrollably. It was as if the very air around her had turned to ice. A prickling sensation on her porcelain skin, like 1,000 tiny needles pressing into her flesh. She knew this feeling all too well, danger. She recognized the signs, the unmistakable aura of dark magic. Her heart raced as she realized what was happening. The unmistakable aura of dark magic. It was a presence that could not be ignored, a force that demanded attention.
Jennifer Tilly is coming for me. She could feel it in her bones, a deep, unshakable certainty that her time was running out. The battle was about to begin, and only one of them would emerge victorious.
Their first encounter was a clash of wills, a whirlwind of psychic energy.
You're nothing but a cheap copy, a pale imitation of the real deal.
Jennifer, a seasoned manipulator, sought to exploit Ashley's insecurities to break her spirit before destroying her physically.
You think you can break me? I've learned from the best.
Ashley countered Jennifer's taunts with icy barbs of her own, reminding her of her failures, her vulnerabilities. The battle raged, a chaotic dance of fire and fury. Jennifer, fueled by rage and desperation, unleashed a torrent of dark magic, but Ashley was ready for her. She'd learned from Chucky's mistakes, anticipated Jennifer's every move, and in a daring maneuver, she turned Jennifer's own magic against her. The air shimmered, the boundaries between the physical and the supernatural blurring. Ashley could sense Jennifer's power waning, her control slipping. Now was her chance.
This ends now, Jennifer.